So the dummy image is now gone. However, you always want to use that to give you like a mini map as to what you should get. So what we now have all these here on our Cartesian plane. All you need to do now is to just throw these values in there. However, you just want to make sure that your scale is somewhat appropriate. So here we can see that we technically have values that are somewhat a bit small. You get so 10 and 5/27, and then here 259/27. This is just around 910, somewhere there. So our scale, you don't need to have a scale here. Please keep that in mind. Don't put yourself in a situation where you draw your Cartesian plane and then you put numbers there. Let's say 1 to -10, 1 to 10, blah blah blah, and then when you now need to plot it, it's just a mess. So the one thing I can recommend is, in your mind, keep in mind that you don't want to make things too out of proportion. What you also want to not do is to draw a scale. So all we're going to do though is, firstly, you want to plot the simple ones. Plot them and label them if you can. So in our case here, we know that these are our turning points, right? So we know that in terms of our turning points, we know this is 1, coordinate 9. So somewhere there. Yeah, again, don't worry too much about the scale. You just want to make sure that your graph is proportional. Our next point that we can put down here, so this we have sorted out. Our next point we can put down, if you want, actually, let's just put our turning points, point of inflection, and then our intercepts afterwards. So this turning point here, we know that this is clearly just somewhere there. Somewhere there. Another useful tool is, anytime you usually plot like turning points, you want to put dotted lines at those coordinates. So we've gotten our turning points plotted. Now for our point of inflection. Our point of inflection is going to be somewhere there. I'll just put there boy, and then we now can plot in our intercepts. Our x-intercept, -2 and 0, and then our y-intercept is just 10 and 0. So our y-intercept is just going to be above our point of inflection, just above, which is somewhere over there. There we go. So again, if you keep in mind what we mentioned before we started plotting, we said don't put a scale. Imagine you put a scale and this is what comes out. It's going to be a mess. So we just say try to keep things in proportion. So all this has done is we have now plotted all these points. Just join them. Don't join them with a ruler. Just draw like a curve, right? So what I mean by that is, if you can just draw a curve here, something like this. So we already took in mind, or we already kept in mind that this is one of our turning points. This was our other turning point. So we know that here it'll go up and turn there, and then pass these points, and then turn there again, and then go back up again. And this is also supplementing the idea that we need to start by going up, and then down, and then up again. And then we can already see that somewhere there at the point of inflection, you can already see the concavities changing. And we will definitely go through concavity in depth, because that's also one key thing you want to be able to work with, right? So this is our sketch. All we needed to do was to get our stationary points, to get our intercepts, and then we have gotten here our sketch. So obviously sketching this was broken down into mini tutorials, but then that's the idea. You want to be able to do all those mini things. As long as you can do all those mini things, questions like this will be simple. Reason is, the main question will be 7 marks, as in the plot the graph question will be 7. However, before they even ask you to like sketch a curve, there will be like smaller questions that will be asking you to get like the intercepts and all that, and all those are worth their own marks. So yeah, this is just something that is very compound, right? So it's very simple, and you will definitely be able to go through it, or you will definitely be able to get all your marks in an exam.